The first step in solving the equation 2/3 x plus 4 equals 1/2 x is recognizing what type of equation this is. Since their only variable occurs twice is x, and these x's are not raised to any power, I recognize this is a linear equation. When solving a linear equation, there's a pretty standard process of simplify each side, gather the variables to one side and the numbers to the other, and solve for the variable. There is one added situation where you have fractions involved in your equation. Because we do have these two fractions, 2/3 and 1/2, we can begin our work not by moving variables from side to side and trying to isolate the variable terms and isolate variables, but instead by getting rid of the fractions. So the first step I would encourage you to take on solving this equation, 2/3 x plus 4 equals 1/2 x, is to look at the two fractions and to find the lowest common denominator for them. Given that we have denominators of 3 and 2, the lowest common denominator here is 6. And the way we're going to use 6 in this equation is instead of making these become fractions over 6, we will simply multiply both sides of the equation by 6. Now to multiply both sides of the equation by 6, we do need to distribute that 6 to both terms on the left side. When I distribute the 6 to the 2/3 x, I'm going to think of that as 6 over 1 because I'm dealing with a fraction 2/3. So I'll have 6 over 1 times 2/3 x plus 6 times 4. On the right side of the equation, I will also think of that 6 as a 6 over 1, so I will have 6 over 1 times 1/2 x. When we multiply those fractions together, 6 over 1 times 2 over 3 gives us 12 over 3. So we'll have 12 over 3x plus 6 times 4 is 24, and that's going to equal 6 over 1 times 1/2 will be 6 over 2x. Now the reason we picked to multiply by 6 is those two fractions that we are still left with, 12 over 3 and 6 over 2, those will reduce down to whole numbers. 12 over 3 is the same thing as 4. 6 over 2 is the same thing as 3. So this equation will become 4x plus 24 equals 3x. And now that we've cleared out the fractions, we can begin our regular solving process. I will move the variables to the left side, I will move the numbers to the right side. I will subtract 3x from both sides of the equation, giving me x plus 24 equals 0. I will then subtract 24 from both sides of the equation, giving me x equals negative 24. If I were to put negative 24 back in for the x's in the original equation, I would obtain a true statement. You should check this on your own. And because I have checked that this is the solution, I will give a conclusion. The solution set is the set negative 24.